Well, thank you. And of course, a week ago, I would have never known I would have been on this call. So Saturday night, and of course, everything happens off hours when it comes to medicine. Having 6 kids, we've never had one child that really gets sick during the day. So it happened weekend and in the evening. Um, the nurse, the nurses are great at Belmont, and the nurse that we had was really monitoring my dad's blood oxygen level, and it was ambulating up and down during the day. And she really kind of started getting concerned about it that night. So she called Dr. Gupta's team and immediately, I couldn't believe it, got on a televisit call, and they called me on the other line. And of course, my dad's thinking he's fine. I'm fine. You know, his little East Texas accent. I'm fine. And but it was really enough that he did need care, and I didn't want to be waiting until Sunday. I mean, even Sunday, I would have had to take him to an urgent care or the hospital. And, you know, everyone with, you know, who's sick is going to those places. So it was just great being able to be evaluated. We did end up going to the hospital just because he really needed to. And everything checked out. He didn't have COVID. They did a COVID test. But unfortunately, when he got to the hospital, they didn't do a COVID test, which I was really surprised being in this age group. And two, his levels looked fine once he got to the hospital, which was really odd. But I did ask them to do a COVID test because I didn't want to have him going back into Belmont without being tested. It came back fine. He was fine. But the thing that was so impressive is that Dr. Gupta's team circled back around and really felt like he should have a few things looked at. So they ordered an X-ray, an EKG, and so far everything looks good, but it's something that we're watching. But it was really nice knowing. I think I would have second guessed myself if we hadn't gone to the hospital that night, but then I would have felt guilty sending him to the hospital because of COVID, if it wasn't necessary. So this was just a great experience. I know that this won't be our one and only time. This is, you know, there's always something that comes up, and it's so nice not having to have him taken to the hospital or having to pick him up to take him into that environment unless the doctors feel like it's necessary. So
thank you. I'm glad we are very attentive, and Dr. Gupta and the team are working very closely with our team. So I'm glad to know that you felt the support, and it's just, you know, especially like we were saying, it's always important, but during this time, it's especially so. And so I'm glad that you were able to receive that service.
Well, and let me say one more thing too, is that my dad really enjoyed, he said, those are the best doctors. So he really enjoyed the visits. So
I don't mind telling you that we did multiple options, and because of that very personal connection, that was a very important decision point in our decision to join in partnership with Tembo. So I agree with you. Thank you.